paper ignites at 451 degrees Fahrenheit, which is useful to know if you're sitting here in a library. But this book, just published, has already started a raging fire inside the British Labour Party. It's the memoir of our former Prime Minister Tony Blair, great pals with George W. Bush, great ally in the Iraq War, but a bit of a fallen hero here at home. The book catalogues in extraordinary detail the deteriorating relationship Mr. Blair had with his Treasury Secretary, Gordon Brown. It started, in Blair's own words, like love. It ended in pure hatred. When Tony Blair stepped down after 10 years in office, forced out by Brown and his supporters, Brown took over as Prime Minister. And he was, in Mr. Blair's description, a predictable disaster. 4 months ago, Gordon Brown lost the general election for Labour and he quit the leadership. So Mr. Blair's caustic comments come as no particular surprise, except for the fact that Mr. Blair chose to say it all in print at a very crucial stage in the election of the next Labour Party leader. Right now, thousands of party members have just received their voting papers, and the rival candidates tend to be either pro-Blair or pro-Brown. So the publication of Blair's book has lit a fuse under the whole process, and it's splitting one family right down the middle. The Miliband brothers, they sound like a pair of Al Capone's thugs, but the two of them are the front runners in the leadership race. There's Ed the Kid Miliband, bit of a lefty and a friend of Gordon Brown, and Big David Miliband, who was always a fan of Tony Blair. David comes complete with an American wife who plays the violin for a living, and even though Blair doesn't openly back David in his book, that of course would be the kiss of death, it is pretty clear where his sympathies lie. And even though Brown doesn't openly back Ed, that would also be the kiss of death, we all know which brother he would prefer. The contest started out in a fairly comradely fashion, but as decision day approaches, it's got much more heated between the brothers. So just as the Labour Party thought it had finally got rid of its personality clashes at the top, stay tuned for the all-new Cain and Abel fight that's about to break out. This is Ed Boyle for CBS News in London.